I believe that means we're live. Cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last of this sort of talk on our Friday sessions, because next week and the week after is going to look slightly differently, and we'll talk about that at the end, which is very exciting. But yeah, we're going to talk today about the skills that you're going to use in a hackathon, specifically Hacked. We're going to talk about some project ideas, what the project theme is, so we're finally finding out what it is we are doing at HackEd, and we're going to talk about kind of what's the scope of the project, how far might you be able to take this, and honestly the answer is this, as far as you want to take it. So let's look at what we've learned so far. I'm going to recap everything we've done. I'm not going to go to specifics, but we're going to talk about it. We looked at Raspberry Pis and Sense Hats, which is very cool. It was very exciting. One of these things with this on the top, very cool. We've got pressure, humidity, temperature, accelerometer, gyroscope, color sensor, joystick with a little button, and an LED matrix. So loads of those different things that you can do with this, and it's a computer in and of itself. We looked at how you can write code on it that runs on it. We talked about viewing the information that's coming out of the sensor in real time. We looked at periodically collecting that data, maybe every 30 seconds, every 60 seconds, every second, maybe, connecting to a database and then sending that information to a database. And then we also looked at using that in a project, and that could be a website, that could be a game. If you are a software developer, if you are a game developer, you can use this information from a database, get it into an API, which we'll talk about in a minute, and make whatever you want with it. Pretty cool, pretty exciting. We made a weather app, so we got the pressure, the temperature, and the other one, humidity, and had a little chart, which is cool. We talked about APIs, application programming interface, and the thing that API stands for doesn't help you understand what it is one bit, but doesn't matter. It's about getting information from one place. Someone else has put some information together. We're going to bring it to us. We're going to use it. So that is finding. We looked at how you can find different data sets on the internet. There's a whole big list which on GitHub of different APIs, free APIs. We looked at NASA's ones, we looked at like satellite data. We looked at getting images of a dog from dog.ceo API, which is pretty cool. Why wouldn't you do that? Using code to fetch that data. We used the fetch keyword, not because of the dogs, but because that's what it's called in JavaScript. And we looked at how you might use an API in a project. You maybe show some satellite data, give it latitude and longitude, and you get back a satellite image. Maybe you want to show some sensor data from a Raspberry Pi and a Sense Hat. Maybe you want to show a picture of a random dog. All of those are valid reasons to use an API. We talked about AI. I'm very proud of this pun. You have to say it with a Boston or a New York accent, and then it's perfect. And I'm sorry if anyone's from New York. So yeah, we looked at using ChatGPT to give you example data sets. So last week, the week before last, James talked about, hey, I'm a call center and I need some call logs, and it gave some synthesized data, and it was like, great, well now I need to analyze this so that my call handlers, when they get a call, they can get that information and get a summary of what's happened previously. So they don't have to read all the transcripts of all the calls, but they can know what's going on with that customer really quickly. So it's just an example of synthesizing data. That just means creating extra data from nothing or from an example data set, but then also using that to give more information. We looked at prompt engineering, how to write prompts. That's the one sentence version of that. And we looked at using code to fetch, yet again, a response from the OpenAI API. One of the things I said I would talk about, and then I didn't in that demo, was using a server. So one of the things I showed was, or didn't show, was my environment variables. I was very like, oh, don't let everyone see. And Alex made a joke in the chat, watched him accidentally expose his API key. You can't just use the API straight in the client. You need to send it to a server. If you want to do that, if you want to use ChatGPT API, OpenAI API, so many letters in your project, all the mentors or even a lot of maybe developers on your team will know how to do that. So if that's something you want to do, that's not a concern. We can help you do that and have both a cool app that uses AI but is also secure, and you're not going to empty your bank account. And and we talked about how you could use AI in a project, whether that's analyzing the sensor data, providing instructions to users based on a data set, or maybe you want to get a random picture of a dog. Probably. Okay, so we also looked at project management. That was last week. AI was before that. We talked about Kanban with those four things we have to do, doing, done, and blocked, and that's all you need. That's the only thing you need. We had those post-it notes. James did it on his computer, but you say these are the list of things we need to do. These are the things that we are currently doing. This is the stuff that's done or blocked, and you can assign those tickets to specific teams. You can give them numbers, like this one's for the front end team and it's number 1. They have to do this before they move on to that, but I can't do this until this other team's done that, so it's blocked. And you can give dependencies from one ticket to another, so it's a really helpful way of keeping track of what needs doing and in what order. It's really easy when you're working on a project with lots and lots of things to just pick the low-hanging fruit. It would be really easy for me to do that one little job now, but don't put off the big important jobs at the expense of it, and this can really help you do that. Not do that. So we talked about stand-ups as well, which is the 3 questions you ask at the beginning of the day. We're going to do it every morning, and we're going to do it every afternoon. What have you done? What are you focusing on next? And what are my blockers? Now, it's really important. I want to point this out, something we talk about on the... I'm going to slow down. I'm talking really fast. Apologies. One of the things we talk about in our bootcamp a lot is these questions are not pointed. They are not, what have you done? What have you been doing? Have you done anything? That's not the tone of those questions. It's just a prompt to help you remember what you've done and share with the team, because you know what you've done, unless you've forgotten, which you probably have. So this question helps you remember. But it also, your team doesn't know what you've been doing. Maybe you were tinkering with something and you finally fixed a problem, but nobody else knows, and this is a chance to help everyone know that. But then also, what am I focusing on next? I'm really stuck on this. I'm going to work on that. Well, I can help you do that. Great. Well, now your team are helping each other because you know what's going on, and that's why the stand-ups are so important, which is why we will do them twice a day, if not more, but at least twice a day. So that was what we looked at last week. So there's some things that you might use or that you have used before. So you might use VS Code or any other code editor. When you're making code, you need the ability to push that code to GitHub so you can deploy it, or another thing, we're going to use GitHub probably, so you can deploy it on a website. So you're going to need a code editor. You're going to need the ability to write code and push code. You will have a Raspberry Pi. Every team will have one of these with a Sense hat. They are all ordered. It's very exciting. So you may use one of those. You don't have to, but there will be one on your table with a screen, a keyboard, a mouse. It will all be plugged in, ready for you to use if that's what you want to do. You may use ChatGPT, and that might just be, I'm stuck on this thing, give me help, AI. Or it might be, let's plug AI into our project and make it do something funky. It might be both. It might be neither. It probably will not be neither. I mean, everyone uses AI now all the time. You're probably going to use it to answer some questions that you don't know. You're going to use Supabase or another database provider. Recommend Supabase because if everyone on every team is going to be a tech ed graduate and they'll have used that, or you will have our mentors, and we're all very familiar with this. But you can use anything, whatever you choose, whatever you're familiar with. You will have post-it notes. They might not be branded post-it notes, but you will have post-it notes, and you'll need them for this, for the Kanban. You will have a column for to do, doing, done. And then when you move something from doing to done, you can all go, woohoo, I'm amazing. And you will probably use the coffee machine. Got a question? Oh, question. Linear is a great app to use for project management, and it's very easy to use and great for small teams. Brilliant. If you have a specific app or tool that you like, you should absolutely use it. The suggestion we're going to make at HackEd is you use post-it notes and you have something on the table that everyone can see at a moment's notice. That way, if you don't have access to a computer at that moment, you can just go, oh, I know what I'm doing. It's that one. Hey, somebody help me with this post-it note. You can pick it up and then be like, wait, where do I put it back? Just looking at more questions. Good question, Toby. Yeah, there's food. There's lunch, and this is when I should have checked whether it's just lunch, maybe dinner. There's definitely food, definitely lunch, and I'm going to stop there before I say anything else. Cool. Oops. So, what are the skills that you might, the other things that you might use? There isn't a. Oh, have I already talked about this slide? No. This is the next slide. So there isn't a definitive list of like these are the things you will use, but your team will definitely use some sort of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build a front end for whatever it is your project is doing. And even better, all the teams will have people who know Unity and Unreal. So if you want to build your front end or a separate front end or a together augmented something crazy Frankenstein beast monster, Unity, your Unreal development, it will look really cool. I'm really excited about seeing what people do with data visualization on their team. So every team will have people who are software developers. Every team will have people who are game developers. So don't stress. There'll be people with Python experience. Python. Any programming experience is valuable because it's not just how do I write this specific code. It's how do I think about the problem that we have. Agile development. I'm not going to talk about agile development or I'll upset half of the people who use agile, and then if I change what I'm saying I'll upset the other half. So you will be agile throughout the hackathon, and I'm going to leave it at that. You will use prompt engineering, you will use AI, and you will use it to try and help you figure something out, and you'll get better at it. If you are familiar with electronics, like this is just one piece of kit. Maybe you have another idea of something you want to do. Having an understanding of what is going on will obviously be helpful. UX and UI design, I should have put those on separate lines because they are both so important individually. User interface, what do we want our project to look like? We want it to look good. How should it look? And then UX, user experience. What should the steps the user go through to use our app? It needs to be intuitive. The user shouldn't load the thing and go, I don't know how this works. I'm stuck. They should know what the next button to click is, and so that's something you'll want to think about. You want to spend some time on that. And just prototyping, iterative design. You want to make sure that you try this, cool, this didn't work, how can we fix that? Oh, cool, it was better, but here could it be even better? Cool. What are some of the things you might learn? I'm really proud of this, so I'm going to read this part out loud. Nobody goes into a hackathon knowing everything, but nobody comes out having learned nothing. And I did have to Google whether it was learnt or learned. But it is so true. You will absolutely leave this hackathon having learned so many different things. And whether that's improved critical thinking skills or innovative thinking, ideation and iteration I was talking about before. You try it, here's the idea, let's iterate on it. How can we make it better? How can we make it better? How can we make it that one fraction better? Problem solving, all 3 days will just be constant problem solving. Yeah, agile working's on both slides because you will get better at it. Working as a team, communicating with your peers and your team, whether it is because of a disagreement, they really like this idea, you really like this idea, which one are you going to do? That ability to work within a team, to say what you want to say while also hearing what other people want to say, really, really important. Time management. You will only have 2.5 days to finish your project or finish what it is you present. So that's not a huge amount of time. It is a long time, and I don't want you to stress, but it is also like going to have to be like, okay, these are the tasks we need to do, and this is the most important one. We need to do this one, then this one, and we have X amount of minutes to do it, sort of thing. So that is the sort of thing you might learn. But, oh, there's a green box around this box. That's cool. What is the theme? Are you ready? Are you ready? I forgot to put that slide in. Okay, I'll tell you. What is the theme? Are you ready? Improving life for Norfolk residents. Now, you may be thinking, Tim, that is super duper vague. It is vague, but welcome to the world of hackathons where you get given this much and you have to make this much. So you get given an idea, a thought, a concept, and you can take it as far as you like. You hear improving life in Norfolk. That will mean something different to you than it will to me or the 11 other people on your team. Everyone's going to have a different idea, which is a good thing. Everyone's going to think, okay, let's take all these ideas and make them greater than the sum of their parts. Let's put them all together. How can we make something that meets all of these requirements? Not everyone's going to get to do their idea, but your idea will contribute to the whole that becomes your project, which is really, really exciting. So let's look at some ideas that you could do for this project. Now, these are not fully fleshed out. These are just ideas, and that is what I'm showing you now. Is we're going to talk about the end, but I want you to start coming up with ideas. This is about how fleshed out I want your ideas to be when you submit them. They don't have to be, we're going to do this, and this, and it's going to work like this, and this is how this part works. This is the database, the front end. I lost what I was saying. So this is kind of like a preview of what you might do. So, helping farmers, like agricultural tools. Norfolk is big and lots of it's farmland. So maybe you want to help the farmer understand the conditions in their field. These tools, some tools like this already exist. Can you make them better? Can you make them different? Better. What's the humidity like? Is it okay for me to come and harvest the crop? Is it ready? Is it damp? Is it wet? Is it rain? Is it going to rain? Do I need to go and do it right now? Or have I got a day? Can I go into this field, then this field? Help them make informed decisions on when to harvest and when to sow. Is that how you're supposed to sow? When you're... Yeah, we're going to say yeah. It might be who knows. Maybe you have use this LED matrix so that it's kind of up somewhere and they can see it. It's flashing green. Quick, go and do something in the field. Or maybe it's flashing red. Quick, stop. And maybe you can have the ability to send notifications to third parties. Maybe a farmhand who needs to get some equipment ready. Kind of up somewhere. When I wrote that, I was nervous that I was going to look stupid because I don't know anything about farming, and I think I made it vague enough. But then I pointed it out, so I don't know. Next slide. So maybe you want to assist some business owners. Maybe you want to take into account data from another source. You don't have to get this data. Maybe you do get it with the motion sensor or like the light sensor, but like footfall traffic or data about how much car traffic is coming through a specific location. And you can think, okay, this is the best time. If you don't like going to Norfolk or Norwich or the city or Ipswich is in Suffolk, isn't it? But whatever. Ipswich, when it's really busy, you be like, hey, this is the best time to go. You could help shop owners make decisions on when is the best time to open. Can we be open longer, be open less hours? What's the best for us? Give local businesses the knowledge of like when to run a promotion. Be like, I want to run a promotion when there's the most amount of people in the town, so I'll send out an email or an SMS to my customer base saying, hey, come and buy a jumper for 50% off. I don't know. This is why you're coming up with the ideas. Maybe you want to have like a room capacity checker, so like in a pub or something. Like, we're going to learn about something called Teachable Machine, which is very, very cool. You should Google it, which is ironic because it's made by Google. But about like how many people are in this room, and then you can use the LED matrix to be like, we are getting close to capacity. So just kind of give someone immediate feedback of, oh, actually, this is what's happening. This is what's safe. This is what I need to know. Maybe you want to help individuals. You can have, James mentioned this a couple of weeks ago in one of his ideas, but maybe you want to use the Raspberry Pi's gyroscope and accelerometer like a fall detector. Like, are they okay? Do they need help? And you can have, IoT stands for Internet of Things. It's just when you have connected devices speaking to other connected devices, speaking to the internet, helping people do something. Whenever I'm trying to describe what the Internet of Things is, I think when I leave the house in the morning, my phone tells my smart home that I've left, and then it starts making coffee for when I get back from my run. I don't have any of that set up. I don't run. But that's the sort of thing Internet of Things is for. Or maybe you want to have a tool for assisting learners and instructors. So maybe you could have a tool that says when I'm in a class, you can put your hand up or say I'm stuck, or I'm at this stage, or I'm at this stage, and then the teacher can have, with the LED matrix, I keep bringing it up, but it's cool and you should use it. Like, this is how the class is getting on. There's a bunch of green LEDs, but there's a few orange ones. They are asking for help, or they're red and they're stuck, or they're falling behind. So just you think of it, a tool to help people do something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here. I realise there's about a 25-second delay, but I want to ask questions. If anyone has any questions, I will answer them. But Jez is pointing at some questions. Do you need to bring your own equipment? Great question. If you have a laptop or a laptop or a computer you want to bring, please do bring it. The more equipment your team has to write code, make things, the better. So if you have a laptop that you're happy to bring it. We will provide internet access. Were there any other questions?
I've replied to that question already.
There is an important question though. Hypothetically, if aliens or monsters invade Norfolk, if I make a game that defeats those opponents, is that considered improving the life of Norfolk residents? Yes. Yes, it is. So next week is when we really, really start to like, oh my gosh, this is happening. We are going to do a hackathon and it's going to be flipping awesome. So next week you will be introduced to your whole team. So it won't be on YouTube. It will be managed on Google Meet, and we will invite people, and you can see who is on your team. You will also maybe discuss your project idea. You will also start to talk about, this is the thing I can do. I'm a software developer. I'm a game developer. I'm a project manager. I'm a systems architect person. That's not a title. All of these things, and you can say, this is what I'm good at. This is what I do. This is what I can contribute. So your team, you can really start to feel like, oh yeah, this is all coming together. We have put you in teams on purpose. You're not going to get a whole team of project managers and a whole team of software developers. There is a mix. And so you will also meet your mentors, and each team has 2 mentors, a technical mentor and a non-technical mentor, so business support, project management, and this is really, really helpful people that can guide you. You are going to say, oh, we've got this idea, and maybe your mentors or your project managers will be like, this is great. Here's how we can steer it into the realms of realistic targets, which is really cool, and it's really exciting. So that is next week at 2:00. So please make sure you're available. I have emailed everyone who is coming with information about that. So please do make sure you're able to come to that. And if you're not able, please do email me back and let me know. We need to know who's going to be there, because we want to sort everything out and make it really smooth. You can meet your team and as quickly as possible and spend as much time with them. I'm going to send you, or your teachers, if I don't have your email, a form to fill out, which is just very basic. It's 4 things. It's your email, your name, the title of your idea, and just a brief explanation of what it is your idea is. And this is to really help you hit the ground running next week when you're talking about projects. You'll say, oh, I've had this idea of one of those ones I said, or something better. And this is where this is my favorite thing about hackathons. I can come up with ideas A, B, and C, and Jez can come up with ideas B, C, D, E, F. I'm good at the alphabet. But together we can come up with ideas G, H. Man, don't segment the alphabet. I can't do it. So this is where it really starts to become like, oh, actually, this is way better than what I could do on my own, because I'm in a team of 12 amazing people, and we're going to come up with something amazing. So this is the first step in that. Put your ideas in that form, submit them, we'll put them all together, and then we'll present them to your team when you get here. Here's all the ideas that your team had. Or if a team hasn't got any ideas, we can kind of supplement them with ideas. So that is the end of this talk. It was a bit of a short one. I am so flipping excited for next week. I think it's going to, not next week, I am excited for next week, but for the 24th, 25th and 26th of February. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to pause on this screen for a minute and answer questions if there are any. Otherwise, I will end. If I come by own car, could I park anywhere? There isn't parking. Oh yeah, Jez has already answered, but I'll answer it out loud. We are going to be at Duke Street, Norwich, which is Norwich University building. I hope you're proud of me, Mark. I said Norwich University and not the full art. Oh, maybe I should say Norwich University of the Arts. I don't know. You tell me, Mark. Message me. There is a multi-storey car park directly opposite, or there are other car parks all around Norwich, but there is not parking at the actual place. Or if there is, no, there isn't. No, there isn't. There isn't parking there. Are there any other questions? I'll just wait and answer your questions. I have set the teams up for you. So when we've collected your names and your emails when you've signed up, we've also got next to you whether you're a software, games, project manager, developer, all the different roles. I don't know why I've listed those ones, but there's way more than that. And we've made sure the teams are even. We've made sure every team has at least 2 software developers. Every team has a project manager. Every team has a game developer. Every team has all the other things. So yeah, the teams are ready for you. They are not fixed yet. We're still getting sign-ups. People are still signing up, and we'll work through it. But yeah, we are done. Are there no more questions? Oh yeah, Westwick car park is close and is the cheapest. Why are you telling everyone, Hayden? That's where I'm going to park. There'll be no spaces left. All right, I think that's everything. I'm going to end it there. Really, really looking forward to next week. 2:00 next week. I've sent you the links. I will send them out again next week. But please do make sure you can come, because it's when you're going to meet your team, and it's when we're really going to start thinking about what we're doing. It's really, really exciting. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for coming once again, and I will see you next week.